This conference is being organized in the framework of BSR WATER project, which is a platform for cooperation in sustainable water management among 7 thematically related EU-funded projects. BSR water activities are focused around 3 main topics. It's integrated stormwater management, nutrient recycling, and hazardous substances management. In this respect, a platform brings together water experts and many replicable as well as unique solutions, which are synthesized to support development and implementation of regional environmental policies, such as HELCOM recommendations or European Union strategy for the Baltic Sea region action plan. The platform connects projects funded by the Interreg South Baltic, Central Baltic and Baltic Sea region programs. And today we will learn about achievements and concrete solutions developed by one of platform project, which is called Reviving Baltic Resilience, preventing the influx of pollutants to the Baltic Sea. Now I would like to give a floor to my co-moderator, Mr. Andrzej Rogala, who will introduce the RBR project as well as the lead partner and representative of Central Baltic Program to say a couple of welcoming words. Please, Andrzej, the floor is yours.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present you some overall information about RBR Reviving Baltic Resilience project. My name is Andrzej Gala. I am an assistant professor at Gdańsk University of Technology, and in this project I am working with Professor Hubka, who is the leader of the project, of the all project partners, not only at our university but all the consortium. And the project is Interreg South Baltic project. It's typically pertaining eco-friendly technologies. So the overall goal of the project is creating a cluster supported by 4 new technologies and maybe in the future more technologies which will help to prevent the environment in and around the Baltic Sea. And the project is based on the 4 technologies. First is developed in Gdańsk University of Technology. It is a diesel engine using on yachts, on floating units. And it's a modification of diesel engine to power it using dimethyl ether. The second one is developed in the municipality of Palanga, supported by Klaipėda University, and it's pertain microplastics, preventing prevention of plastic emission to the Baltic Sea. It's based on the prevention of the plastic litters emission. And two technologies developed in Sweden. Well, first is a treatment of leachates from the wastelands, and the second is using the phytoremediation to remediate polluted soils. So these 4 technologies, they will be presented in the further part of the session by specialists. And the project is developed by 7 project partners in 3 countries, and I just used Google Maps to show you the trip using car from the first to the 7 partner. So we have the Kalmar University, Linnaeus University, which has main place in the Kalmar. We have in Sweden. Yeah, in Sweden we have also NSR. It's a waste management company in Helsingborg. and also IUC SID in Malmö. It's a technological hub and business hub in Malmö. In Poland, we have Gdańsk University of Technology and Pomeranian Special Economic Zone. In Lithuania, we have Klaipėda University and Municipality of Palanga. So these partners are typically around the South Baltic area, and the total budget of the project is around 1.5 million euro, with co-financing about 1.2 million euro. We as the Gdańsk University of Technology are the leader partner, and the project is in the priority exploiting the environmental and cultural potential of the South Baltic area. Uh, and also with the specific increase the use of green technologies in order to decrease the pollution discharges in the South Baltic area. And this is because it is not updated table, because the planned completion of the project is the end of June, but 2021. It's mostly because of the corona situation problems, and we are uh, finishing the project. I think that all the deliverables are quite good achieved, and yeah, this we have the partners. We had some troubles during the project implementation, because one crucial partners withdrew the project, but it was because of the regulation in Sweden, and that's why we have not typical numeration of the project partners. So we have numeration from 1 to 8, but there is no the third partner. That's a little tricky can be, but the partner still is our associate partner and supported us in the project development. And turning back to the project to the project idea. So the project idea is to create the cluster, but the cluster it's not a artificial institution, artificial unit, just only to fulfill project, but we hope that it will be the platform to develop this green technologies, not only in the South Baltic area, but in maybe in the whole Europe. These four technology which we choose are mm, typical for our partners, because we have specialists for each of this technology in four of the partners, and it can help us to create the cross-border cooperation, because this technology, which is for example developed in Poland, can be used both in Sweden and Lithuania, and the same when it comes to technologies developed in Sweden or in Lithuania. So it's very important for us to underline this cross-border cooperation, and that's why we choose these technologies, these four different technologies, but all have the same goal to revive the Baltic resilience. And these are just very just short pictures of the not maybe of the not maybe not about all technology, but the units which were used in the technologies. And I think that my colleagues will show you a lot of details and interesting information about them. And it was our base of the project, because in our opinion, each project should have some base, which is a model to do other works. Beside the typical technological part of the project, we have also some additional maybe it's something like not only documents, but also a little IT tools, which we hope will help with implementation of new projects, maybe new perspectives, maybe also private projects, and using the experience from the pilot cases from other projects, and through our meetings and cooperation, we prepare some strategy documents, which are also included in the application form. But we were trying not only to do documents, but to prepare tools which will help us and also our new partners in the venture of RPR, because it can be quite big venture, not only the project. And the first one is risk analysis tool, because during the project implementation we faced a lot of problems, but it's typical for projects. I'm working. I've been working in about 15 projects, so I think that I have some experience, and also my colleagues, that there are many steps of the project and many different types of problems, and we prepared some formulas, some even some software to try to assess the risk level of the project, and we believe that if we will use it and evaluate each step of the project which we are planning, we can more or less, but I think that more analyze the possibility of implementation of the project, and we believe that it will help us to have only success projects, not some failures. We have also it's been finished last month, the strategic manual and also regional reports, and it's a vast of knowledge also which can help, and not only us but our consortium and in the next future projects. This regional reports are analysis of a lot of eco-friendly projects, similar to the RBR solutions, and also it helps us to identify and set up new cooperation with potential partners. But also we create strategic manual which will be provided to our potential project partners, which is also description of it's a very detailed description, and it's connected also with this risk analysis. So it is also some new book, maybe, yeah, it's just strategic manual as it's named, which should help to create new cooperation, new projects, and do it with success, omitting risk and omitting the biggest problems. Thanks to these documents we set up during the project with 5 project partners. I will just show you the Polish cooperation. We started and signed a letter of intent with Elbląg Seaport Authority, and they have two very similar and interesting technologies which they participated to develop. So first is the device for identification of danger fluids. It's spill alert, and it was cooperation with some IT teams and also with private company. So it can help to identify the types of pollution around the Baltic Sea, and also the big venture digging through the Vistula Spit. It can be named like a vast uh, environmental project, because it's business project, but there is a lot of possible environmental solutions to implement. So we are cooperating with them, and this is a fruit, I would say, of cooperation in the RBR. And the second one, it's typical to nowadays problems with the energy production and transformation. And also we signed the letter of intent with OPEC Gdynia. It's a heating company from Gdynia, and so they provide the warm water for heating and for domestic use, and also for some industrial use. And also they have some technologies to using heat pump to decrease the using of fossil fuels to generate the energy. And they are not producer of the energy, but if they will use this system, they can lower they can lower the need of buying the heat produced by the fossil fuels. So this is also a typical environmental friendly and prevention technology, which is according to our project goals. And we also and it will be presented by Anna Zielińska from Pomeranian Special Economic Zone. We were working during our project implementation about the proactive resilience cluster. There were two possibilities, but from the regulation point of view, it will be a cluster, and Anna Żyńska will give us the details. But from the project possibilities, from the project activities, we have three typical activities which were connected to the cluster setup, and it was cooperation when it comes to the pilot case development, and also the cooperation about the dissemination, the possible cross-border cooperation in the project, and make the interesting among the potential partners. And we identify, and we started we presented the project for more than needed number of the possible cluster partners. And I think that we achieve everything which we planned. So I want also to say that we are in the good route to have the cluster. Now we are during the signing the proper documents, and I hope that maybe some of you will also participate our cluster, because it will be not closed after in the end of the project, but we hope that it will work for many years. We had also some workshop study tools and some other activities which we had to do. And I think that we will also use some video devices, and we will also record minimum one additional study tools. And if any of you will be interested, I'm open to send you the link, and because it will be connected with our floating laboratory Photon, which have modified diesel engine, which can be powered for mixture of dimethyl ether and diesel oil, and it will be presented by Professor Kupka. But we will prepare before the end of the project some virtual study tool to present it, because we believe it can be very interesting solution to omit a lot of problems with emission from the diesel engines. And we are also open, if you are interesting to send you to show you the our documents, the strategic manual, risk analysis tool. Also, I encourage you to visit our webpage. It will be updated in few days, and I think that it's good to see it, to read a little about RBR project, because I believe that all of us, we are working in eco-friendly projects, and there is a lot of possible cooperation between us. And if you are interested, you can use the link you are seeing in the screen, and also my email. I hadn't put Professor Hubka email because of Rodo, and I hope that he will show you also his contact, because he is a project leader. So I encourage you to visit the webpage and contact us. And I believe that you will have interesting presentation about our pilot cases and about the cluster possibilities. Thank you.
Now we can give a floor to representative of Interreg South Baltic for a couple of welcome words. Ms. Agnieszka Limanówka.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. I was asked by the lead partner of the RBR project to say at the beginning a few words. Thank you for the presentation of the program, and I'm really looking forward to hear about further achievements and listening to you, but using the opportunity, even though you have still a half month to finalize the project, I would like to congratulate you on the successful project implementation. And I know that I can imagine that it was not easy to deal not only with the project issues, but for the last year, additionally with all restriction caused by pandemic. Nevertheless, I hope that despite these difficulties, you find the cross-border cooperation within your project fruitful, and that you will continue work in the subject in the future. As you know, problems related to green technologies and environmental protections are essential for the South Baltic program. And I can assure you that support for green tech development, water, energy, and circular economy will be continued in the next program perspective. And I can also reveal that most probably about 40% of the total program budget will be allocated to this priority. I don't know if I can use, and if you would like to hear just a few short words about the future of the program. If I can't hear anything, so maybe I would just say that the total budget for the program is likely to be adopted at the similar level as in this perspective. We want to introduce as many administrative and financial simplification as possible, including using simplified cost options. Now the program bodies, including Joint Secretariat, is working very hard to finalize the draft program document until August this year. We are continuing Joint Programming Committee and Working Groups meeting. For August or October this year, we plan to launch the public consultation of the program. And what might be interesting for you is that in September, November 2021, we plan to open the seed money call dedicated for the future projects. So national approvals of the draft programs are expected till the end of the year, till December 2021, and Commission approval most probably in the second quarter 2022. So it's likely that the program will be launched in the second quarter next year. So that's a really brief summary. Please follow our website for further information if you are interested in what's going on in the South Baltic program. So to sum up, once more, I would like to thank you for inviting me, and for it was a pleasure to work with you during this project on the payment claims and just administrative issues. And I will, with a great pleasure, I will stay with you and will hear about more about the project achievements. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And we would like to thank you for support in the project implementation, because it was not only regulation, it was a lot of meritoric discussion with Ms. Limanowska. So we really thank you. And I would like now to ask Professor Jan Hubka, the project leader, to present our first pilot case in the RBR project. So Professor Hubka, I'm not sure if the floor is yours, but the screen is yours.
Okay. Thank you, Andrei, so much, and also I really appreciate the kind address we listened we heard from the representative from the Joint Secretariat from Ms. Agnieszka Limanowska. Thank you so much for that. So let me load my presentation, and the pilot case. Okay, excuse me. Let me get rid of this. Okay. So the pilot case pertains to the reduction of pollutant emissions from marine diesel engines and on small vessels. However, the data can be also used for for bigger vessels and engines as well. The idea in this pilot case was to prevent pollution and not clean polluted streams, as we can see on the slide. So to reduce not only the particulate emission, but general emission to the environment from diesel engines, is here the improvement of the combustion process by applying liquid gas fueling system. So the regular fuel here is a mazote or diesel oil, and by combining this traditional fuel with a dimethyl ether, we significantly reduce the emission to the environment, and later I will indicate that the emission is in case of small boats to air and water, and just by injecting the dimethyl ether, which can be easily produced from renewable resources. So this is particularly important here. Andy already, I mean, elaborated on the proactive technologies and the importance in environmental protection. But in our case here, and the pilot first pilot investment pertaining to the diesel engine. So particles emission from diesel engines and generally the pollutants emission from diesel engines are significantly reduced. Then it pertains to air and marine water. I will show that in a moment. And the pilot case absolutely fits to the idea of reviving Baltic resilience, just by significantly eliminating, I would say, dangerous pollutants to the marine environment. And also this pilot case is a good example, or it has a good potential for international cooperation. The pilot investments already were briefly indicated by Andrzej Rogala, and what they have in common, that all pilots refer to mitigation of particulate emissions to the Baltic Sea, though each pilot case refers to different particle size range. Okay, so maybe that's it. We can eventually leave it for discussion. and here, okay. I'd like to refer to the statement why emissions from engine, like in the boat, which is shown here in the lower right corner, why they pollute both air and water, though it seems that they pollute only air. However, the exhaust system on such boats incorporates mixing of the exhaust gases with let's say marine water, or with water, so thus by mixing water and exhaust gases, pollutants in significant amount are transferred to the aqueous phase, and thus they also they go also to the marine water, and the mixer is shown here, and in the middle, in the lower part, the yellow part. It is this is the device which is used for mixing water and gases, and the same element, the photograph of the same element in the upper part of the slide. This is the actual mixer which is installed on the boat. Obviously, after the mixer, which is represented here on the schematic, I believe that the cursor can be seen. Yes. And then there's a system of silencers here, the silencing system, and which also speeds up the mixing of gas and water, and thus the role is also for cooling the exhaust gases as well. Before we could equip the engine with the new fueling system. To the right on the photograph, we can see the engine, 43 horsepower engine, diesel engine. Several essential preparatory work had to be done, like the reconstruction of engine compartment, the drive system, installation of tanks with pumps and valves for liquid and gaseous fuel, development of installation of a dual diesel engine supply system, renovation works of the hull. After this modification, installation of sensors, commissioning of the system, testing, installation of commissioning of engine environmental assessment system, research on the exploratory conditions in selected fuel mix configurations. Though the research is the next step, I would say. There's the follow-up in the project. Since what we were supposed to do in the project, just to construct and test the system. So here are some photographs how the boat was pulled out from water, and in a small shipyard was serviced here, and it is on the middle photograph we can see the new compartment here. Just through the ladder shown here, we can see the new compartment, and the compartment has to be ventilated because of the gas fuel system. Generally, the gas in normal exploratory conditions on small boats requires special permission from classification society, and of course we apply for such permission to explore the system. On this slide we see on the left photograph. On the left photograph are the two tanks with diesel with either LPG or DME fuel. It has to be on board. It cannot be inside the hull. And on the right photograph, we see that that's the original tank for diesel fuel with metering system, which allows us to measure the consumption of the fuel. And here is on the left photograph, such the yellow, this is the automatic valve. It also allows us to measure the gas flow. In the further in the raft, we see a dynamometer, tensiometer, which allows us to measure the engine thrust. and how the work was done. We can see the navigation cable cabin here, with all the instruments, and also we added a processor box, where all the connections to the sensors, the many sensors which were installed on the engine regarding the revolutions, temperature, and the pressure, vibrations, and so on. So all this is being measured during the test, and the vibrations are measured on the. This is shown here on the laptop because normally we attach the laptop in. I can collect all the data. This is the system for the data acquisition. And here are the vibrations on the engine, so they also indicate about the performance, the temperature, also how the engine behaves in the dual system. Also the shaft indicates how much power is being produced by the engine. So this is the controls here, where the major parts of the automation system what is being measured, what is being installed. We can see the revolutions of the shaft here, where the propeller is shown, then the exhaust system is installed, and the engine itself, and on the left is just schematically shown the fueling system also, which is everything has to be under control, and it's automatic performance here. So, and all the data can be measured. Collected on of the data, it can be collected on one screen. What here are the on this photograph are shown measurements pertaining to the environmental assessment of the engine operation. The probe is shown on the left side. It is inserted directly into the exhaust gas the pipe when it comes from the exhaust gas is expelled from the engine. And here on the right lower corner, we can see one of the four gas injectors which were installed, and then the probe, which is the hose, which is a cable with a hose where the gases are introduced into analytical system, which is on board here. And through the little window, we see that this probe extends over here, and then in this way the gases are online analyzed, and the data are collected by the acquisition data system. So here we have the data, and it absolutely has been indicated that injection of dimethyl ether, but even when we add even with the to save on the dimethyl ether, which is not so easily available on the market. So we had in the tests were mostly done regarding the liquid petroleum gas, LPG, since dimethyl ether and LPG, they have a very similar physical-chemical properties, and they are both gases, and they are both and they are both easily liquefied under the pressure of about 6 bars. So so this is kind of a model pollutant, also the LPG. Okay, so some data here for the measuring. Regarding emissions of I think this is done on this is done for the diesel fuel only here. The data and how with the rotational speed, the revolutions of the propeller, when they increase, we can see the amount of oxygen. For example, the more oxygen is consumed, but still the engine performs well, because still some 6% of oxygen is left, so which also prevents soot formation. So we can analyze the data. Maybe there will be occasion for the vessel to complete a cruise to all the partner countries. That's what we've been talking about from the beginning of the project. So just seeing is believing, and doing just the experiments is really understanding what's going on here. So this is comparable data with the with the diesel and DME mixture. So let's go just what is I think quite well understood regarding the oxygen content. The more oxygen is available in the engine, the cleaner is burning of the fuel. So we can see that here, in the case of DME, we have more oxygen available. So that indirectly indicates that absolutely the engine is working properly. There is no emission of unburned hydrocarbons, and the methyl ether itself has a oxygen between two carbon atoms. So that's the reason. That's the reason why it is so effective in reducing the environmental emissions. I think so with the LPG, it is a little bit less, but it still helps. So when we have so making a comment, when we have a cars in the cars, in the trucks, yes. The trucks, also many trucks already in Europe have a combined system, a dual system, liquid gas, where not necessarily dimethyl ether yet. It is not as popular as LPG, but LPG is added to regular diesel, and also the emission is significantly reduced. So also we can do with this vessel, we can also simulate such situation as it is met in tracks. So I think that this is I mean, my presentation, I think is okay. I need to stop here. And so I believe that at least some of those from the audience will be able to also, I mean, participate in a cruise, or short or longer, on the boat, as a continuation of the in fact of the project, and as here in the last slide, I would like to show you that that the first level controller controlling group from the voivodeship office here paid a visit on the boat close to the end of the last year, and since at that time all the reconstruction was completed, and upgrading and the installations now now it's time for tests for doing the tests, and due to still the epidemic situation, practically we couldn't do it till May. So in May we started we started to or we simply to continue the investigation, but already towards obtaining some scientific results, so the data could be also published, I think, in a good in recognized journals. And would like to add that this is the first case ever known that in the literature that such research has been done. So I thank you very much for your kind attention, and obviously I'm open to answer the questions. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I think that the questions can be during the panel, because we are over time.
Yeah, sorry for that. Yeah, you should reprimand me, or less. You know that.
It was so interesting. The next presentation there will be some replies, because Anna Sorelius is working in company, and she had some immediately issues, and the presentations about the using of treatment of leachates, and also about heat remediation will be presented by Kamil Zajączkowski. He is represented NSRAB, and he is an expert of the EU projects, especially Interact Baltic projects. So Kamil, can you present? Can you? I replaced the two words, because I am not saying the floor is yours, the screen is yours. So please, I mean.
So first of all, thank you for the opportunity of taking part in this conference. My colleague Anna Sorelius was not able to hold this presentation, so I will do it instead, and I'll give you some insights about two pilot cases that are conducted at NSR, one regarding PFOS and one regarding phytoremediation, but also a connection to biochar, which was actually added kind of in between these two pilot cases, and I'll tell you more about it. So my name is Kamil Zajączkowski, and I'm a consultant at NSR. I'll give you the contact details to Anna if you have any other specific questions after my presentation. I'll try, I know we're behind schedule, so I'll try to hurry up a bit. I don't think I can make it in 50 minutes, but for both to be on time, but I'll do my best. So just some background info. First of all, NSR, it's a waste management company co-owned by 6 municipalities. With 4 active or recently finally covered landfills. The largest one is Filbona in Helsingborg. It was started in 1951. What's interesting about this place is that there is no firefighter training there. It's not a location for firefighter training. And the reason why we bring this up is that usually these places have high amounts of PFOS and PFOA and shorter chained PFAS substances. But at this landfill in Filbona, there are very high concentrations in the outgoing leachate water. And the amount of water we're talking about here is between 300 and 400,000 cubic meters of water. So if we look at the site, it does have different parts, so to say. On your upper left side, you can see the main landfill, where there is more than 11 million of cubic meter household waste and industrial waste that was stored there. Down at the bottom, the second red circle is landfill for the chemical industry and gypsum. The leachate storage of water is located on your upper right. There is also a research center and purification site of biological treatment sorry. Yes, so if we look at the pilot case for PFAS, it's actually 3 separate solutions that were tested, in some sense in a linear way, but also in parallel to each other. In 2018, we made the different analysis reports that were supposed to be made, procurements, and the first trials were initiated in 2019. In 2020, we had some conclusions and trials with a low-tech filter as a pre-filter, also regeneration test of the graphene filter. Because this water, this leachate water, is a very complex water with high amount of PFAS pollutants. So when you work with these highly advanced solutions, what happens is that these filters get clogged up and need to be rejuvenated quite often, actually. And this is also the reason why this was expanded to see, is there a possibility to pre-treat the water to take the worst pollutants out of the equation, so to say, or the higher concentrations, actually. Now in 2021, we'll finalize an evaluation report, also some field trials with plant experiments and reporting, of course, after that as well. So before we go into the pilot case, what we are talking about is what is called PFAS 11. So these are the 11 substances we are looking at. I will not go through each one of them, but please know that there are other categories and other things that could be analyzed as well. So the first part is actually a pre-treatment solution where raw water from the leachate pond is put through sand filters, a buffer tank. Then there's a sampling analysis made of that water to see, sorry, my apologies, to see how the sand filters are working, if they're good enough, and then pump this water into 3 different solutions. So this is an overview of the pilot case. On your left side, you see the pre-treatment, which you just saw in the previous picture, and then it's divided into 3 different solutions. One of them, in essence, is a solution made of 2 parts, but generally speaking, it should be seen as the same solution. So the most basic solution here is called a LACWA filter, a very basic one, where water is put through this filter from the collection system. And then, treated through, pretty basic filter technology. The second one is a hybrid filter, where we also use willow. So this is a semi-phytoremediation solution where you combine the filters with willow. And it's actually a very good solution if you connect it to this previous LACWA filter. Yes, a more advanced solution is the active carbon filter, that was delivered by Cornelsen, a German company, where you have this activated carbon that the water goes through. And these are the filters, for example, that get clogged up quite easily if the water has too high concentrations of PFOS. The last and final solution, which is a real high-tech solution, is an Apatec filter, also a carbon filter, but it works a bit differently. It's also connected to chemicals for quality assurance measures. There is a pre-treatment, buffer tanks as well, and it's a very good solution. All of this fits inside a container, so it's quite neatly packaged as well. So if we look at PFOS, it is more widely spread than most people realize. We've looked at this in water, but it exists in soil, in your clothes, in dust, in food, especially fish, where it accumulates, plastic products, and so on. It's important to notice. Secondly, PFOS is accepted to be harmful for the environment, animals, and humans, and production in large parts has ceased. But the financial possibilities are not as prominent as in other fields, because there is some, at least according to me, lack of science behind this, especially from a human level, where you have to quantify the costs, but I will get back to that. Due to obvious ethical reasons, intervention studies cannot be conducted, of course. It would not be very nice to the test subjects. Most of the harmful effects of PFOS are not specifically exclusive to the compound. So cancer is an obvious example where the complexity of attributing specific health consequences to PFOS becomes very hard. More time is needed to conclude the long-term effects of PFOS. Okay, so when I did a literature overview of this, most of these issues were brought up at the end of the 1990s. So it's basically, it's not enough time to look at this in a 10 to 20 year perspective to truly see the data, for example, how children or other individuals might have been affected by this. So more research is needed. So what we did is that we made a study where we tried to look at different types of exposure levels, for example, occupational, elevated, or if it's just something that exists in your background. We made a cost analysis of this, basically, population at risk in the Nordic countries, and looked at the different factors. Quite interesting. We looked at the different actions and the best estimate of how much this would cost. I took out the data here from different sources. If anyone would like to look more in depth into this, I will give you the different sources, for example, to the Nordic Council of Ministers and other organizations. And what's so interesting is that if we look at Helsingborg, even if we look at the lower estimates here, if we have a very defensive estimation in general, we would still be able to conduct these types of installations in the area for up to 6 million euros would be viable. Now, looking only at the site and the people working there nearby, people living nearby, the lower viability limit would be around 1.2 million euros. And this is quite interesting to know for the Secretariat and the South Baltic program, that the value for money here is very high, because this pilot case didn't cost 1.2 million euros. It was maybe around a tenth of that. So it's very good value for money. And this is based on very low estimations, okay? So it might be even higher than this. If we look at the effects on humans, I will not go into this in detail. You can see here on the picture, I've already mentioned cancer, for example, but there's many other issues here. which we really don't know yet. For example, liver damage, increased time to pregnancy, pregnancy-induced hypertension. There's a lot of things here that need to be looked at. And some of these things have a proven impact, some of them don't. We see a tendency, but we still don't know. And this is a very interesting thing in Sweden right now, because there is a very known case in Ronneby, which is also a part of the South Baltic program geography, where the municipality is actually in a legal battle regarding the amounts of PFAS in drinking tap water. I wouldn't call it a big scandal, but at least something that was brought up in media as a surprise, and this is something that is being discussed. So this is a very hot topic in Sweden right now. Ongoing studies right now also look at language development among kids, the effects of PFAS in those instances, and also, which is quite interesting, of course, right now, is the vaccine response for COVID-19. Here you see a picture from the container I told you about with the Apatec solution. Here, what you actually see here, these boxes, there are flow meters. So yeah, really nice installation. Would be, of course, very nice to invite you to see this, but yeah, currently it's not possible, but we hope to be able to do so once everything is maybe back to normal. And I mentioned also that this pilot case has expanded, and this is also the reason we have looked at phytoremediation and the possibilities of using biochar. So at this site, we will also install, it's not a part of the project, but we will install a plant that produces biochar. So it is, of course, very interesting to look at the possibility to use these biochar wood chips, which were incinerated at, or produced at 700 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes. And we know that these solutions might help us. And keep in mind the things I said. Most of this could be used as a pre-treatment to make the more high-tech solutions work better. So I'll gradually move over to the second pilot case also. So when it comes to the biochar, what we're looking at right now, and what we have looked at, is as a feasibility study. It's a qualitative study, an analysis of salix, willow, it says here in foam, but in form of contaminated Laqua hybrid filter. So if you remember the slide that I showed you with the hybrid filter, where you have the filters and the willow on top, this is basically the solution that you see here. Literature overview is also something we looked at here from the Swedish Geo. Here you see some pictures. Yes. If we look at the uptake of salix, uptake of PFAS in salix willow, we've done some analysis here, and here you can see the numbers from the soil, leaf, stem, and root. And generally, these results are very good. We've done this with, this is in Swedish, but we've done this with different plants. We find the plants that are the most interesting. I will not go into every single plant here. And we also looked at the bioconcentration factor, the BCF, so carbon in plant compared to sea soil, carbon in the soil. What's interesting to see in the literature generally is also that the higher uptake of some of these PFAS chains are higher in the shorter PFAS chains than in the longer ones. Some conclusions: plants that are currently at least showing good results are these three, for example. The Phragmites australis, Typha latifolia, and Miscanthus gigantus, also known as elephant grass. We also see good potential in two other plants, which is the hydroponic cultivation and the reed sweetgrass. We did some additional testing with sunflower, which was a tribute to Linnaeus University, and also the Japanese knotweed, which also shows very good results. And here you can see the greenhouse that was or is used for these tests. Here you can also see the design of the project. So we're looking at the actual biomass in the plants, the leachate water with water analysis, and the soil. We have different pots here. I will not go into each one of them, but you can see the design here. We have used the plants I just presented and also the bonus plants, the sunflower and the Japanese knotweed. So as you see, there are many different tests here, also with references, of course, where we look at the possibility of using just the leachate to see what happens to PFOS through phytoremediation, but also adding the biochar. And this was done or is done in four different phases, and also with the 4 different plants, A, B, C, D, as you see here. Here you see some beautiful pictures of the pilot case. And here's another picture. Looks really beautiful. Really nice to see how plants can be used to treat soil and leachate water. And here you see the actual leachate water. It's of course very green because it also has high substances, of course, of algae. And it's something that we knew from the beginning. Yeah, and thank you for the attention. I tried to hurry up as much as possible to get us back on track. I think I managed to do that. And if you have any questions, you can ask them right now, but you can also send them to me and I'll give you the contact details to Anna Sovelius, my colleague.
Thank you, Kamil.
Yeah.
Thank you for both presentations. It was really interesting, and I would have a lot of questions, but we are still over time. But thank you for saving I think the 10 minutes, and the questions can be during the panel session. So the last presentation. Is about the marine plastic litter disposal, and it will be presented by Professor Olga Ane from Klaipėda University from Lithuania. And the pilot case was done with cooperation between the Klaipėda University and the municipality of Palanga. So Olga, as I said before, the screen is yours.
Hello, everybody. So I'm going to present the AWARE project Lithuanian case study. And I will like to begin from driving forces. So of course, there are a lot of driving forces for such kind of project, but I decided to mention one of the most important United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and everyone know very well about all these 17 goals, and we are concentrated more on clean water and sanitation, but all these goals are closely connected to each other. The main methodology of the project is intervention logic. It means that you have resources, and taking into account what resources you have, you can plan activities. These activities will lead you to some deliverables, which will have impact at the end, scientific, social, political, technical impact, and all these impacts should lead us to the healthy environmental. So the strategic aim of our pilot case was to analyze the current situation and to apply the predictive environmental solution in order that our pilot case, Palanga coastal zone, exactly beaches will be more better quality, and as well as the aim to contribute to Baltic Sea pollution was also declared. The methodology of our pilot case was the next. First of all, we are analyze the state of the art of Palanga coastal zone and identified the main pollution of marine litter. The second one was fulfilling of multi-criteria analysis of coastal zone vulnerability. Then we analyzed the surface water bodies dependent to Palanga municipality analysis of nutrients of this surface water bodies. Then we invite public in our analysis, and at the end we did conclusion, and I will share with you. So, as I said before, we are speaking about Lithuania and exactly the coastal zone of Palanga. And also, we will analyze a little bit surface water bodies, which directly flow to the Baltic Sea and therefore have impact to the Baltic Sea water quality. As you know, there are different sources of marine plastics, marine litters, and the classification of the sources is divided mostly into two land-based sources and sea-based sources. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time to analyze the sea-based sources, just a little to prepare some survey about this, but we are working most with land-based sources and exactly with beach coast and influence of holiday makers and citizens to the amount of the marine litter at the beaches. The state of the art, which was the basis of our decision making, included the different tasks, and the most of them I present here. It's an evaluation of the amount of waste and litter in Palanga coastal zone, identification of the critical points of plastic particles accumulation, the estimation of cigarettes butts, critical point at the recreation zone. So if we speak about exposure to marine litter of the coastal zone of Lithuanian coastal zone, we can see here there are the scale when very exposed points is mentioned like in black color, and you can see Palanga here. So it's of course there are the same points in Klaipėda, but Palanga was the most actual area for investigation. If you look at the main sources of marine litter, we can connect it with the number of visitors. Here we just to show you how how the number of visitors of Palanga municipality is growing up with the year. And from the right side, you can see there's from different sources, there are efforts to analyze what is the biggest sources of pollution, and some variants of this. In for Palanga, we see that the biggest impact we have from tourism and public, from holiday makers and visitors. So on this slide, you can see the distribution of spatial distribution of marine litter. Is the red color is in accordance with very high number of items per year. It's average number of items per year in Palanga, 10,000 items. So it's quite a big area of investigation. And another one analysis which we are fulfilled in the project, this was integrated climate change and pollution risk assessment in Klaipėda municipality. And for this analysis, we use multi-criteria methods, which show us that vulnerability of the Palanga coastal zone is really high, concerning many parameters. Among them is it's tourist spots and cultural heritage and built up area and also pollution density. The third steps was to analyze what impact of surface water bodies from Palanga municipality have to the Baltic Sea water quality. And we recognize that mostly the surface water body nutrients, amount of nutrients in a good or very good ecological status. Only some measurements show that there are also an average state, ecological status, because it's still a lot of problem with total nitrogen in the Baltic Sea, and because of this common problem, our local problem also the same, and all efforts now is done to reduce the nitrogen amount in the rivers. As I say, academic society can prepare a lot of analysis and reports, and it will be very difficult to work only with academic society. So we think that social analysis involved of public is a very important part of the project, and we was sure that the public are interested in environmental state. And it was exactly like this. More than 300 people voluntarily joined to our questionnaires, to our public pool, and we recognize that our society, our public still need for education, and are very happy to have more information and knowledge concerning marine litters and the main sources of these pollutants. Also, public opinion polls show that people are not satisfied not only with marine litter directly, if we speak about plastic, particles, but also with cigarette butts at the coastal zone. And when we apply our proactive solution, 50% of respondents said that visually the state of the beach is more nicer than before. Also, some requirements from public were got. Some respondents would like to expand the waste sorting network, and some of them speak about equipment of small collection for small waste collection, like tanks or cups. So what is this proactive solution? As you understand, we prepare all environmental characteristic and analysis of coastal zone of Palanga municipality, and also recognize that we need for new beach sand machine, and the technical analysis have been done by Palanga municipality specialist together with experts, and at the end we together decided what kind of beach cleaning machine we need. So at the moment we can say that in 2020 from summer period of time about 1.5 ton of liters have been gathered, so we can say that about 1.5 ton less liters, marine liters came to the Baltic Sea. And this is pictures of the machine, and I would like to emphasize that this machine can go deeper in the sand, up to 20 centimeters, and clean the sand. So if before it was simple tractors who can only to ensure some visual maybe cleaning, now it's really a big opportunity to gather different kind of litter. And coming to the conclusion, we can say that our activity, planned activity, allow us to recognize the trends of marine litter accumulation. We understand what is beaches pollution by waste and by litters, evaluate hazard risk, and also know more about rivers nutrients impact to the Baltic Sea. And this intermediate outcomes go through change attitude towards pollution, recognize natural hazard awareness, and to change the Palanga resort image. And our main outcomes is contribution to the Baltic Sea pollution reduction, which help us to do one more steps to healthy Baltic Sea. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Olga, and thank you for the time that it's quite a 10. So I would like to thank all of presenters about pilot cases. I hope that now you are a little more familiar with our technological solutions and eco-friendly solutions presented by prelegents. And I believe that it will get you closer our idea of the increase the level of environmental protection in around Baltic Sea. And I'm sorry for the voice. And now I invite Ms. Anna Zielińska from Pomeranian Special Economic Zone, which will present RBR Clean Technologies clusters. So I think that the most important effect of the project, which I hope will lead many years, and it will be possibility for not only for project partners but also for all the participants of the conference to cooperate together in the nearest future.
All right, so hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Anna Zielinska. I represent Pomeranian Special Economic Zone. I work in Gdańsk Science and Technology Park as a project manager. And today it is my pleasure to present to you the cross-border green technologies cluster, which we are just about to launch this month, yes. I would like to say straight away that my presentation won't be so long as the others. However, I'm ready and open to answer any of your questions if there will be any. Besides, we have just exceeded the time. All right, so first of all, cluster development is, just as Andrzej already said, is one of the main RBR project results based on partners tight cooperation. The cluster is developed by the representatives of Poland, Lithuania, and Sweden. And as you can already know, the cooperation in cross-border project is a must. So we are really happy right now that, that the project will end with developing and launching and presenting presentation of a new institution. We want our cluster to operate in the area of the South Baltic Sea, which are the coastal regions of Lithuania, Poland, Sweden, Germany, and Denmark. But of course, we are open and ready to operate outside the indicated area. 1 second, I cannot see it. All right now is better. And as for the main goal of our cluster, we just want the cluster to be the platform for cooperation, the cooperation based on the triple helix model, which is a collaboration of academia, industry, business, and also public institutions. And as for public institutions, we mean local, regional, and also I would say state bodies. The main task of our cross-border cluster would be to create a really strong cooperation network in the field of the green technologies. We want to act as a contact point. We want to allow people and institutions to create strong partnerships within our cluster in order to allow, first of all, transfer of knowledge, in order to allow joint initiatives such as workshops, conferences, or study visits. And most of all, we want to create, to develop, and to implement new projects, especially right now when we are still waiting for a new EU perspective. So I would like to right now take this opportunity to invite all of the interested bodies to join our cluster. And who can apply? Well, micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, scientific units, research institutions, business environment institutions, industry associations, public institutions, and actually all of the institutions that operate in the field of green technologies. And I would like to emphasize, first of all, that the admission procedure is quite easy. All you have to do, you just have to send an email to me or to the representative of the project leader, and within email with declaration or joining our cluster, and within, I reckon, few days it will be accepted. And I think another quite important thing is that cluster admissions and membership is free. So, as I already said, my presentation was quite short, and but I would like to invite you to join our cluster. And if you have any questions to me, I'm ready and actually very happy to answer them now. Or you can contact me later by giving me a call or sending me a message. Thank you.
Thank you, Ania. Thank you for your presentation. And I think that we as a leader partner also, we are invite you to contact us, to cooperate, because as Ania said, we believe that it will be a very good platform to create new projects, to join new ventures. And
and especially, yeah, and Andrzej, and especially right now that we are just open for new perspective, we would like, and I think our partners would also like to be involved in new EU projects.
Yeah, especially that we have quite a lot of possible possible participants, and also we will put it in the RBR webpage, the cooperation possible project partners, that even if our technologies developed in RBR are not maybe common or interesting as much as for you, then you can also create some new cooperations, because it's obvious that it's impossible to involve 60 or 70 partners or maybe more in one project. So that we believe that it will be the platform not only for one but for many different projects, but in the one line with eco-friendly, proactive, environmental projects.
Yes, of course.
So Ania, thank you again for the presentation, and now we would like to again invite Ms. Agnieszka Jola, which will talk about UBC, Sustainable Cities Commission, and which will talk about Baltic Smart Water Hub platform for transnational experience exchange. We are very happy and thank you again that you join us to your venture, to the project.
Yes, thank you very much, Andrzej. Thank you, Anna. And I would like to thank you to all speakers before me for those very interesting solutions. It was really good to learn a bit more. And now in my presentation, I'm going to actually even more expand the possibility for transnational experience exchange, because I will present the main output of the BSR Water project, which is Baltic Smart Water Hub. This is our already launched portal available online. You can, while I'm talking, also go to bsrwater.net and check a little bit what offer we have. But a little bit of a background. So the Baltic Smart Water Hub was developed by BSR Water project consortium, which in the framework of international cooperation funded by Interreg Baltic Sea Region program. So altogether, our partnership has 10 regular partners and 19 associated partners from all countries around the Baltic Sea region. And we have started this cooperation already in 2018, and we are finalizing in September this year, 2021. So from this place, I would like to also invite everyone to the final conference, which will take place on 15th, 16th September. So a little bit about the project. In BSR Water project, we focus on two types of activities more for practitioner. The overall aim was enhancing cross-sectorial cooperation in the water sector by providing the possibility for transnational experience exchange, sharing of good practices and solutions, and this was the practical part. And then we also developed the regional policy recommendations, especially for stormwater management, nutrient recycling, and hazardous substances. When we talk about the projects in our platform, we have 7 contributing projects, which results have been synthesized in the form of solutions. So we have the IVAMA project, BEST project, dealing with wastewater from domestic streams and industrial streams. Then iWater project was dealing with stormwater management and urban planning, especially holistic integrated approach to stormwaters. And RBR project, we are very happy to as well host in our platform, transfer the solutions further to the whole Baltic Sea region. Then manure standards, dealing more with agriculture, wastewater streams from agriculture, and then village waters with more of a scattered settlement, and clip leaf also addressing the stormwater and climate change. In our platform, we have combined the projects from different funding programs. So that's why you can see that, yes, we have a Baltic Sea region projects and Central Baltic funded projects and South Baltic funded projects, which is really, I think, amazing and added value that we do a cooperation between also in the region and between funding programs. When it comes to how does the hub was created, and a little bit on the activities. So mentioned 7 contributing projects. We have collected the results and output of those projects and analyzed them and presented them in a very unified format on the online portal Baltic Smart Water Hub. At the moment, we have over 100 cases and innovations published, which are ready for you. So you can visit balticwaterhub.net and check the offer. You can, of course, also share your own experiences, and we also very much look towards the RBR pilots being published also in the hub. So the hub is enabling the exchange of practical experience and promotion of each organization's expertise and knowledge on and the local knowledge on international level. When we look a little bit into how does hub looks like, you will find there following structure. There you will have a 4 water areas where the solutions, good practices, tools and innovations are collected. So if you click to the freshwater, for example, you find the solutions for drinking water production, and we have all solutions possible for stormwater management, holistic integrated stormwater management. Also the maritime solutions are in the seawater, and then ending up in the wastewater section with very many different options for the wastewater. So the content and solutions are unified, which means that when you are searching for a certain solution, it's kind of very easy to do. You can search either through the certain format. So it's a good practice where we presented a little bit more elaborated analysis of a certain solutions being implemented in a certain geographical area. Then we have a very concrete technical solutions, and here I see also the RBR solutions. For example, the photon could go here very well, the boat, and then tools and innovations. Tools are ready to use, ready to upload for further use. You will find instructions also how to use certain tools and how to apply them in your everyday life. For example, green area factor tool for urban planning of green urban spaces, etc. And then the innovations. Innovations are more of a pilot scale, which have a possibility for further uptake, for example, in a full scale project, international project. So this is a screenshot how the landing page looks like. And then here a little bit how also the specific case are presented. So you will find the cases also in the color mark. For example, the color orange is reserved for the stormwater solutions. So you can, when you visit for the first time, maybe it's a little bit, it takes a very short moment to get acquainted with everything, but you will see the colors helping you to navigate over the cases in different water areas. And you will see the symbols in the right upper corner. There are the symbols for whether it's you are looking for good practice, or you're looking for a tool, or technical solutions. And the case itself, the solution itself, is described as you can see it. So we tried to combine all the information, provide really elaborated picture of a certain solution, or in this case, we have a good practice. So you see always where it has been implemented, what were the preconditions for implementation, what technicalities were there in the system, in the process. And then you can see the cost whenever possible, possibility to contact an implementer, and a little bit on the funding. You can also see the implementation results, wherever possible, galleries, and then more cases that are related to the hub. Apart from a collection, I said we have over 100 cases collected. So just I encourage you very much to check up what we have in the offer. You can also provide your own case with a very simple forms, which are available online. So then you just fill in the case, provide the materials, and share your experience. You will be informed about when your case will be published. And apart from practical cases, we also have a possibility for networking. So we have a network of, at the moment, around 21 experts, providing the support in the hub in the certain areas, water areas, and in the certain good practices or solutions. And through the cooperation, you can exchange of practical experiences in our network and promote more your local achievements, your local solutions for further uptake. As well as, yes, we support the lifelong learning of water experts on international level. Apart from practicalities, practical solutions and the networking possibilities, we also have an information about the existing funding instrument and regional policy frameworks and potential networking associates. So for you as a user, I think that, first of all, we can offer an inspiration and a knowledge about the solutions available in the Baltic Sea region, possibility for networking, engagement into this international expert network. So join us with your expertise. We will be happy to welcome you. We can offer you a wider outreach and promotion of your organization qualifications and excellence on the region and globally. And then, of course, promotion of your solutions at different events, webinars, which we are organizing together with our partners. So with this, I would welcome very much everyone to check and visit our Baltic Water Hub at balticwaterhub.net and submit your case, share with the region the expertise, and yes, promote your organization and network with us. Thank you very much. I tried as well to fit in the time, so we have a little bit time left for our networking. I will open also a possibility now for any questions you might have. So if there is anything you would like to know about the hub, so please feel free to address the question.
Thank you, Agnieszka. And I encourage participants to contact because I think that our projects are mutual, very similar, and it could be good to make stronger the cooperation, and also after our and after BSR project to cooperate and to create some good strong community of partners which can develop the green technology solutions, tools, and any any using the useful documents, right? IT solutions. Anya has a question, I see.
Yes, well, it's not a question. I think it would be good if we could cooperate together. So I'm talking about your platform and our cluster. I think it would be good if we could join our forces to probably create, to probably, just as you said, to transfer the knowledge, best experiences, and also maybe to implement a new project. This is what I wanted to add.
Yes,
if it's possible, of course.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that yes, we very warmly welcome cooperation, and especially that yes, the RBR is already our cooperating project. So I think we have a very strong potential to also continue. And as we heard a great news from Interreg South Baltic, that the new funding has really is on a good speed, most likely without delays. So there will be also funding for possible joint activities in the future. So definitely let's discuss this further. And with this, yes, I would probably open the possibility for a panel discussion now. So I would like to ask, yes, Andrzej to join, and Magdalena Gajewska, Professor Jan Hubka, and Anna Zielińska, Kamil Zajączkowski, please, if you could turn on your cameras and unmute your microphones. So I would have a couple of questions. I have checked fast the chat. It looks like we don't really have any specific questions to our speakers, but I would have maybe a general question in connection to what we have just discussed and the possible cooperation. So I will start the discussion with the question, what do you think, what are the most successful impacts of RBR project on the Baltic Sea ecosystem, and how this can be transferred to the whole region? We already heard some answers, but perhaps you would like to elaborate a little bit more on those results and their continuation in the future. Yes, who would like to start? I will be not pointing, but I will be happy to if you could comment. Yes.
Well, is looking at me, I believe.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, I mean, I think the major achievement, I think, in the project is the strong cooperation network, which has been organized, established, and that we go towards the proactive technologies regarding the Baltic Sea, and please look at the pilot plans. I mean, the pilot plans are, I think, very mature at this stage already, and when you consider the TRL technology readiness level, so I think that might be in the 6, 7, some of them even 8 points in the 10 point scale, which means they are ready for implementation. So we can disseminate them first among our partners, maybe do the final testing, and I think that's also the role for the cluster. But another important role here I see for the Baltic Water platform, because this is also the possibility, and we are so grateful for the collaboration. It has become more and more fruitful in the last month, the recent month, and the crowning this collaboration is this seminar, this conference, and so I think everything just comes together. We can spin it. We can. I think everything makes sense. So the Interreg programs are South Baltic Interreg programs. We see how important they are. We can like the Lithuanian case, where where the model has been developed. Why the litter collects particularly over there? But the consequence with Professor Anna didn't mention here is that preventing. I mean, she said it, but that we prevent due to cleaning the beaches, the debris, plastic debris to entering the sea. However, that also means that the action, wave action on the beach itself, but also within the sea, leads to generation of microplastics, and the microplastics which can be inhaled or ingested by various marine organisms. That's one example. So then the excellent results from the NSR in landfill leachate treatment. That what Kamil said, how important it is for our health. So the money is spent, I think, really very effectively, and but thanks to very extensive collaboration we have experienced in this project, and very close collaboration with Joint Secretariat, because anytime they were open. So as for us as a leader, we had a couple of meetings with the management and our officer who just takes care, Mrs. Agnieszka Limanówka. So that's how I see is the major achievement for the project. Maybe speaking too long, have give chance to others. Okay, so thank you for that, for your attention.
Yes, thank you for that. And would anybody like to also comment on that? Maybe on a particular pilot, the readiness for implementation and take up in a bigger scale? Please, yes.
If I may, I would like to add to what just Professor Hubka said, that I think one of the biggest RBR project achievements we will achieve actually in the future if we commence another project. I think it's going to be the best achievement of our project right now, because on one hand, right now we are just about to finish our project, but on the other hand, I think we are just ready to start a new one. And I think this is the point of the cross-border project implementation, just to not to finish it all, but to do something, because I think it's not possible in green technologies project to, I would say, to implement everything, just to finish it all. I think it's just the beginning. And if we manage to collaborate again, probably with the same partners or with different partners, it's going to be really a good, and I think a big achievement. That's it. That's what I think, and I think that RBR partners will surely agree with me.
Yes, I definitely agree with you. Definitely, Anna, I think that, yeah, the continuation is always very important. We accumulate a certain knowledge, we build up networks, and, you know, just learn to work together, especially in our new consortia, which are very, I would say, cross-sectorial, because we have...
Exactly. That's true. Yeah.
Sort of multi-level, at least for BSR Water it was, but also I noticed you have the same in RBR, that you have the representatives of the research, of the academia and research, and the practitioners. In our case, we also have municipalities, you know, so all levels. And I think we definitely need to combine our efforts, because, yeah, the pollution of the Baltic Sea, you know, first of all, it doesn't recognize borders. So it is important for all of us. And it also also touches upon all sectors and all life of each of us. So this is very important to kind of upkeep, of course, this momentum and continue the cooperation.
And if I may also add something, that right now within our project, we were thinking just before that one day we will have to say goodbye to our partners, and then what's gonna happen. So we, while on the stage of project development, the embryo side of the project, we decided to create a strategy manual. It is a document that will be put into our project website, and it's a document that will allow other partners and also our partners, or different bodies, or everybody actually, who would like to gain a knowledge of developing and implementing new projects within, especially cross-border projects. So I'm cross-border. I know it's not actually the same, but I would say international projects. So I think it will give us really a good help. So we want to create a document, a manual, that because we don't want other people, other institutions to be in a big of hassle of developing and then implementing and also closing new projects.
Yes, absolutely. So what about, I suggest that we perhaps could check a little bit, as we are talking that we have representatives from different sectors, perhaps we check also with our audience. I would like to interact a little bit.
Cool.
Once again, I'm saying that yes, all questions and comments to our panel and our discussions are most welcome. So please, from the audience, if there are any comments, feel free to use our chat. But I would like to suggest that we would run a poll, and we will ask our audience which pilot solutions inspired them the most. So we will see also in terms of going forward, what are we taking on board and where we focus, whether we take all of the solutions or we go in some clear direction. So please just vote, and this is a poll to all of us and to our audience. Please choose which option you find the most inspiring. Yes.
And the winner is?
Very dynamic, very dynamic. It can still change. But we have, yes, Lichette cleaning for a while. It's been the biggest, yeah. But now I see, yes. So we see marine plastic litter. Yeah, we are still having a poll. So we can still take a few voice. Yes. Okay. Changes a bit, but still landfill Lichette clinic seems to be of the biggest interest at the moment. Then we have, yes, also emission from diesel engines and marine plastic litter disposal, 35 respectively and 30%. Definitely the, yes, green technologies cluster, and yeah, phytoremediation. Good. Yeah. So we have a certain trend.
Oh yeah, perfect. We can see now the results.
So now we see, yes, the results. And we have, yes, number one, 57% would be the Lichette cleaning. So PFAS definitely is something we should look into, and hazardous substances there. So that is, I think, a very clear also way forward for us. And we can elaborate further how to take those results, definitely. So would you like to comment the owners of the cases a little bit of, yeah, maybe success stories and possibility and the next steps, what could be still ahead?
I think only success stories.
Let's take only success stories here. Yeah.
So if I may add some comments, we invite you all to work with us on the PFAS cleaning of leachate. I think this is relevant for every one of us. It's a similar issue all across the Baltic Sea. we will look at these installations to see which one makes the most sense. As we said, we have done them in a linear way, at the same time also in parallel to each other. So we will have a really nice system set up. And as you see, also the costs for potential health issues, soil and so on, exceed by far the cost of the installation. It is a very good investment. Secondly, what we are also looking at right now, which we invite you to, is that we're interested in, for example, very innovative technologies to see if there's something else that could be done or added. For example, non-thermal plasma reactors, which we intend to apply for from Horizon 2020. Yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting topic, and what's so interesting about it also is that it's connected to all these other things. For example, the biochar challenge, both with regards to production and then how it should be used and the plants and so on. So I hope you're interested in this, and we welcome everyone, and we'll get the contact details.
We have a comment, so in the chat, so I could now perhaps say about this and read it. They are all success studies. In Sweden, the problem and solutions to PFAS is, as Kamil said, high on the agenda, and it will be interesting to read about the final results. So there is a strong interest, Kamil, towards the studies and the results. And definitely, yes, in Sweden, the PFAS is strong on the agenda, and it has been addressed, and more pilots are coming up. How is it in the other regions, Kamil? Do you also see it high on the agenda in other countries? Do you see there a potential for future collaboration and involvement on the whole Baltic Sea region scale?
If I may.
Yes,
yeah.
please.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I mean, Sweden or maybe the Scandinavian countries, I think the awareness is on a high level regarding the environmental issues. And I think still in countries with lower income, even per capita, people are more involved in everyday activities and just to support first themselves, their lives, families. And the more rich countries, they can the more you rich are, then the more you care about your own health and have the imagination, you know, is better. So I think so for like in our country, the results will be more awakening. Hey, despite you work hard, very hard, I think, to support yourself and the communities. This aspects are also very important, and of course they gain importance. And another comment regarding NSR system for perfluorinated substances cleaning. Absolutely, I just voted for it as well, you know. So you might say, hey, why you guys don't do that? I don't know for how many. We could select only one case. Yes, that's right. Yeah. And in the poll. So also the strong, I think, administrative and community support for the company, in which I think they experience. I can say it for autopsy. I've been there twice. And in the company, I was impressed, you know, how social role they make, and even the distribution, redistribution of used equipment, and most impressive was for me that even people brought for redistribution the fruits of their work, like fruits and vegetables from their gardens, you know. So that really is, and I remained in my memory. I have never seen such an action as it was in the company. So also the high level of trust the society has to have, because I believe that this action is without the sanitation requirements. Probably that there has to be some certificate, that it has a certain, you know. So I think this also counts in success and of certain developments here we have in the project. So the understanding, yes, the understanding of the communities, maybe. Okay, so okay, thank you then.
If I may add something, to some degree, I agree with Jan, that the society, the level of understanding of society is very important. But about the PFAS, I think that among the scientists, we have the common knowledge quite good established, and we realize that PFAS are very dangerous for people, for the environment. But I think that also we have some, in Poland at least, we have some lack of regulations, and everybody is waiting if and when the PFAS will be regulated in the, for example, in outflow from wastewater treatment plant, and then I think that the company will be interested in some technical solutions. But of course, we all realize that in case of PFAS, it's not so easy to remove them from wastewater, and maybe that's why the technology, since the technology is not so well developed, we are not so, as a society or maybe as a decision maker, not so interested in finding the solution. I think that our decision makers are still waiting for final recommendation and final solutions to be implemented. So this is from my perspective, to my understanding of this situation.
Yes, and this, I think, Magda, this adds on to the importance of this cooperation. As you said, there needs to be a cooperation and between the science, which gives an evidence for a good political frameworks and good guidelines, and as well as feedback from practitioners to see that there are the guidelines, policy frameworks are working well and they can be implemented and uptake further. So I think this is very good that we have an opportunity to cooperate on such a constellations, cross-sectorial constellations in international project. I think it has been an important instrument for taking such an difficult issues are PFAS forward as well with the joint initiatives. So we've been talking about the success stories, but we know that it's usually the it's the challenges where we are learning from the most. So I would still like very much to ask you whether there were any obstacles, or what type of obstacles you have met when implementing the RBR. Is there anything you should still do and you know, to overcome in your project in order to reach the results that you have planned? Were there any obstacles in terms of involvement, in terms of?
So maybe
I
will comment it a little.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I think that there are several things, but I heard that some of them will be a little solved in the next perspectives. First one, I think are the differences between the regulations in the Interreg Baltic countries, because we have different regulations when it comes to our first level controllers, and after it we have a lot of problems when it comes to submitting the overall reporting. So it is really important to make clear information for project partners how it should look like, because the leader partner is responsible for the joint payment claim, and the leader partner should give a very detailed description how it should looks at the first level in every partner. So I think that the regulation is one of the biggest problem when it comes to implement the project. This is the first thing. And the second is to have a very clear plan, because at Interreg Baltic projects we have plenty of activities. I think that in RBR we have about maybe 40 or even more activities divided by four work packages, and it's also really important to plan it very smart, to be very clear with project partners who is responsible for which activity, because all in all, in the end of the project, all of the partners are together responsible for the results. But when it comes to the system, the SL system and reporting, all things are summing up by the project leader. So it is important to, and this is not only from the RBR, because I am working also in 2 other projects. So there are a lot of problems in this kind of project, that people forgetting about activities, about the plan, about the work package. Obviously, it's normal that during this coronavirus situation, it's not easy to do everything according to the plan, but we should remember that if we are a project partner, we are responsible for something, and if we don't know what to do, I think that also as a project partner, we should ask the leader what to do, because I think that the communication sometimes can be a problem. We had the luck that we have very good project partners, and we were working alone and together, depending on the time and the restriction of the corona situation. But I think that when we will start new projects, we will really learning from this experience. We will be more clear when it comes to project plan and implementation plan, because it can make easier the development of the project. That's, I think, that the two most obstacles when it comes to project implementation, from my opinion.
Yes, I think that this remarks will be taken on board by a representative of South Baltic, and probably in the new programming maybe some improvements in that sense. But definitely, yes, the development stage of the project is very important, with clear division of tasks, and of course communication is also very important. What about the pilots implementation? When we think about the full scale, have you already now noticed that there might be some obstacles with the pilots?
I can continue. But this is not a problem of the Interreg project, it's a problem of the public procurement, because I think that in new perspectives there should be some detailed description when it comes to maybe some detailed description or possibility to give some detailed description during the progress of the project, because the biggest problem when it comes to pilot case is the problem of public procurement, and do it, one public procurement for all whole pilot cases. In some situation, it is typical research and development project, the part of the pilot case, not all whole the project. And then we have sometimes problems when we were, because during the R&D project, the plan is changing. It's normally it's because of the innovation, yeah. And if you will do a public procurement at the first stage and use all the money to create the pilot case, during the developing and the maintenance, you can identify a lot of things which you could do better. So I believe that it would be better to have the possibility to add, maybe after the first year of the project, to add the detailed description, and to avoid, you know, the need of one public procurement, because if you are trying to do more than one, there will be some regulation problems, explanation problems, and it's not easy, because we had a lot of troubles to explain it to first level controller. Thanks to Joint Secretariat, it was not very difficult, but still it would be better if there could be some detailed description, because it will be some good innovation in this project, because it will help to create better stage of this R&D part of the pilot case. I believe that's my opinion. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe Professor Hubka can add, because
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I thank you, Andrzej, for your comment. Andrzej, as a project manager, he was the most exposed to all those different, I would say, interpretations of the regulations we have in the South Baltic, I mean, general Interreg projects, because our partners, I mean, they interpret it in a different way. I mean, they are not so stringent, I would say. Is at least what we experienced, and so that is the first thing, and then the public procurement, absolutely. This is a research. So this project was particularly, I would say, heavy loaded with research. Research is something doing some investigation on what is not well known yet. So obviously there will be some changes. We make some assumptions, and then we create models, and then we verify those models, and not always the expected, the predicted results are obtained. Certain adjustments have to be made, and this is already very difficult in a situation when everything has to be decided at the very beginning of the project. All the lists, all the parts, all the external experts. Sometimes this happens. So this was our major challenge. So more or less we have overcome those difficulties, I would say, or at least some slowbacks, and hopefully, I mean, fortunately, everything has been completed. But I think in our pilot case and the floating laboratory research, we were heavily dependent on the external conditions. First of all, even this year, till May, we couldn't, because of the sanitary restrictions, we couldn't go and continue the tests. Then also we depend on the weather. This is in the open air. I haven't shown you all the slides and from the real research. There were not enough time, and the film as well. But that certainly will be possible when we will continue, because this is just the beginning. What I think Agnieszka said, or Anya said. Yes, Anya said that. Because of the cluster, we will obviously use our pilots for further collaboration and hopefully for a new project as well. So already in the Palanga meeting, I think 2 months ago, yes, it was, we already formulated certain areas of further collaboration, possible topics within the cluster. Okay,
yes. Thank you very much. And I noticed that there have been hands raised, so we will perhaps give a floor to Olga Anne. She was, I think, she wanted to comment. Olga, please, would you like?
Thank you very much.
And
Yeah, I
Anna
would like to.
after that, please. Yes.
I would like to support our project leader idea about public procurement and some adjustment in the project, because we also had a very nice opportunity. As you mentioned now in the voting, our project got the second place. So it's quite important for public, and I think we can. Maybe we can looking for electrical vehicle. It will be twice bigger effect, but this was not possible because from the beginning we don't have this idea. I don't know that it could be possible to change a little bit the understanding, or not only about the ability of the machine, but also to buy the machine as a new generation electrical vehicle machine. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Olga. I think, yes, this is an important step forward if you will think how to even better improve and take further your case, pilot case. And Anna, please, I think we can still take a comment and then slowly.
All right, so I will be all right, thank you. So I will be very short. I just wanted to add that in any project implementation, we have to be always prepared for the risks. And I think that if we are not ready to take the risk, we shouldn't be involved in any project implementation. And I think as for the RBR project, I think one of the main, I would say, problems or maybe obstacles that have arisen was the pandemic, because there were circumstances that I think nobody could predict. And even though, we couldn't meet, we were supposed to set some meetings in Poland, in Sweden, in Lithuania. We couldn't do it, but when you are really prepared, you know how to avoid it. And for example, I think it was a good opportunity to meet online, even though we had so many obstacles as for in regards to the pandemics and all the different regulations. And I think not only in the project, but also in the whole Europe and all over the world, we managed, I think, successfully to almost finish our project. So I just wanted to say that in any project, we always have some risks that sooner or later will have to be managed. That's it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Anna. And I will give microphone, please, to Agnieszka from the South Baltic Secretariat, please.
Okay, I know that you want to finish soon, but anyway, I feel somehow obliged to say something. Yes, exactly. I agree with Anna. That was really difficult time, difficult circumstances, and always in the projects, not everything goes according to the plan, and it's normal. And as you said, this planning phase is really important. But I think that it can be compared. It was for all projects really unusual situation with this pandemic, and there were some other issues, technical issues raised. I don't know if it's the field, but there are some things. One, changes in the projects are always possible. Also in the South Baltic program. So there are many ways of making changes. If there are serious changes, we can also do this, but through the monitoring committee. The other things, I think that this is the problem of the national regulations that can't be changed, unfortunately. In the South Baltic program, the managing authorities from Poland, and we have to follow national rules. And this is, among others, the public procurement law. And the fact, for example, that public procurements can't be divided because you can be, it can be supposed that you want to avoid some, some higher. So this is not the program regulation as such, but the just national regulation. So I don't know if I exactly touch the issues that were your concern. We can talk before the submission of the final report, or anyway on some other occasion. But just I think that that there were some different problems. Of course, as I said, in the next perspective, the program as such is trying to implement as much as possible simplification, but not everything can be avoided, as anyway we are obliged to follow also national regulation and rules. So that's all. But of course, if you will plan to submit further proposals, either under seed money project or later on a regular project in the next perspective after the program will be launched, of course, I will invite for consultations. So I hope we will manage anyway. And this pandemic situation was very difficult, and anyway I think that you managed really well. So thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much, Agnieszka. I think we can now slowly conclude. So before I give a floor for a final remarks to Professor Jan Hubka, I would like on my behalf to thank you very much, all speakers, panelists and audience, for joining us today. And please remember to stay with us for tomorrow. Tomorrow is day 2. We start at 8:45 CET, and we are going to first network a bit as well. We will have some new participants, and then further in the agenda we will focus on nature-based solution, bring a blue-green infrastructure, a little bit of a new HELCOM recommendations, and everything that you can find interesting in a topic of stormwater management and hazardous substances. So please stay with us, and thank you on my behalf, and I will give the floor to Jan for also final remarks on behalf of RBR project. Thank you.
So thank you, Agnieszka, very much. Of course, thanks also first to organizers of this of the first day of the conference. We have the second day of the conference, and I will participate, of course, in it. There will be really more nature approach to solving our environmental problems. Also very interesting, maybe less technical. So thanks, great thanks to all participants, those who discussed, particularly those who asked questions regarding our pilots and for the answers. And our really great thanks to the Joint Secretariat. Fortunately, we have it very close to us, to the university in Gdańsk, Joint Secretariat, and particularly to Agnieszka Limanówka. Absolutely, Agnieszka was open all the time. Even we could call her, even give a call in the afternoon, sometimes late afternoon, when the situation was such that we have to solve certain formal problems. So great thanks. We are, of course, thank our first controller team. What we experienced at the university during the I would say such a survey or control, so they are trying to do the best and have to follow the regulations which Agnieszka Manówka mentioned. There are national regulations which are, I think, more stringent than in our partners. Therefore, not always they could understand sometimes our calls or questions, you know. No, and again, the Baltic water platform, and particularly to Magda, Professor Magda Gajewska, who really speaks for the platform at our university and disciplines me regarding the collaboration and also for her merit comments. About the I would say achievements and I think the project is a success. It is a success, and with a good perspective for collaboration, for also testing and implementation. But my particular thanks go to Andrzej Rogala, Dr. Andrzej Rogala, Dr. Alexandra Korkosz, who stood behind me. She's obviously participating in it, and in fact, here we are sitting in the same office here. I mean, participating in the conference from Ania. From Ania Zielińska, from the special economic zone is very fruitful collaboration, and also big expectations regarding collaboration within the cross-border green technologies cluster. So again, many thanks, and we see each other. At least some of us will meet again tomorrow, and also during the discussion of the second day. So thank you very much, and till the next meeting. I believe that there will be possible to have a multinational crew on our boat, because the plans are I want to say a scheduled cruise, but I would say at least planned cruise to start either to the east or to the west, from Sweden, Finland, then the Baltic Republic, Lithuania, and back to Poland, or the other way, depending also on the marine, on the sea conditions, you know, which way would be more safe and faster. So thank you so much. Thank you so
Panie
much.
profesorze, Professor Hubka, we will remember about this proposal, and I think it is being recorded, so we won't forget about it.
Oh, I know.
Exactly. Now we've all invited on your boat, so
yeah.
Please first our post-conference meeting on the laboratory, on photo. Wow, that's a good idea.
Great. Yes.
Great.
Oh,
good idea.
Cool.
Great project for future.
and for Agnieszka Ilola, when you visit Poland, so occasionally you do it on business or leisure, and so very welcome, and to any participants, to Professor Anna, of course, to Olga. We are very eager to have you in Gdansk again. Okay,
thank you very much. And once again, congratulations to RBR project and to all partners and to all consortium stakeholders for fantastic achievements and results. And good luck with the further projects, and let's stay collaborating.
Yes, if I may add one person, Kamil. Oh, obviously Kamil. Thank you, Kamil, if you are still online, because I mean, I haven't seen your photographs, so you don't always you remember, you know, whom to particularly acknowledge. But your expertise, your involvement in so many. Almost every meeting was organized with Kamil's participation, meritorious and organizational. And the ideas, particularly regarding proactive technologies, those ideas came, he inspired us at the very beginning of the project, even when we've been writing the proposal, writing the project for the seed money. So Kamil, thank you so much. And I think Christopher Klim as well. He is not, I know whether he is present. He has a difficult time with the health in the family. And so also great. Those are our friends and other friends. And Mats Larsson. Wow, Mats, are you there? So thank you so much, because Matt's been very active and has a big expertise in the topic. So certainly others, if I only see the names or all the names and the photographs here or just the images, so that came to my mind. So Kamil, many thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, and I will.
Yeah.
I will forward your very warm words to Krzysztof as well. As you said, he's been involved, and yeah, thank you very much for everything. And I think it's important to see these projects as basically as a start to something bigger, because as I said, these pilot cases now are mature enough, and you mentioned this earlier, Professor Hupka, regarding the TRL level. So they can be used in viable situations now. We can actually show where to install these things, how they can be used. And this is what is so good about the South Baltic program. We are able to test these solutions and learn from them. That's the biggest value. It's also a big difference. And yeah, if I may forward this to Agnieszka, if we look at the previous program period, or the previous, because actually it's a new one now, but let's say 2007 to 2013, a lot of the focus was actually on only the analysis, the reports, the cross-border perspective. But now we, in the recent period from 2014, we were able to try these solutions, and it makes a lot of sense. Yes, it's not maybe, you know, not the biggest investments compared to other types of programs, but it's very valuable, and it would not be possible without the South Baltic program. And yeah, Professor Hupka, thank you very much for everything you've done, and
invaluable input, you know, to the project. Absolutely.
Yeah, and we're looking forward to the next program period as well.
Absolutely.
Soon.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
If there are some final words, please, Agnieszka, just.
Just thank you very much for invitation, for all those nice words. And we are all here in the Joint Secretariat for all our project beneficiaries, and we will try to help all of you always as much as we can. And of course, please be invited to submit your proposals in the next program perspective. And once more, thank you very much for all those nice words, and thank you.
Thank you, Agnieszka. Thank you so much.